Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right. So now we have to go for the uh, discussion for the component. Okay, component of the engines, and that components are like intake, which is diffuser, compressor, combustion chamber, turbine, and nozzle. Okay. So component wise discussion we have to do here, and whatever the required formula we have to write. So whenever the question will be asked from the diffuser only, then at least we should know what is the formula for the diffuser. Similarly, if they ask question for the combustion chamber, many times get question they are asking from the combustion chamber part only. They will say this is the inlet condition of the combustion chamber and this is the exit condition of the combustion chamber. Heat value of the fuel is given this, and then they will say calculate efficiency of the combustor, like that. Or they will say calculate the inlet condition or inlet temperature of the combustion chamber, like that question will be asked. So component wise also discussion is what required here. Previously what we had seen, the lecture in previous lecture, what you had seen that throughout the engine aircraft. Okay, I mean if you have taken turbojet engine, so for the turbojet analysis you had seen, and it was like numerical. Okay, inlet condition is this, exit condition is this, what is the thrust, what is the specific thrust, what is the SFC. So that part of the problem what you had seen, that type of also question they are asking in examination. And here what I am going to explain component wise. So component wise discussion we have to see here. So basically components of engine, and we have to go for the discussion, and we have to formulate that. Discussion and formulation both we have to do for the each components of the engine. Hope you understood this. So now I must draw this diagram so it will be more clear to you. Okay. All right. So we can say this section here is what entering here. Okay. This section to this section, it is diffuser. This is compressor. This is combustion chamber. This is nozzle and the turbine and then nozzle. Okay. So I can say diffuser, compressor, then combustor, turbine, then nozzle, and there is the exit of the flow. Okay. This is the combustion chamber here, combustor or combustion chamber. Here we are adding fuel, which is nothing but m dot f. Here we are having m dot a, okay, velocity of the aircraft or free stream velocity v infinity, this is v exit, and what will be the mass flow rate here? The mass flow rate of the air m dot a plus mass flow rate of the air. Okay. All right. Now very important is what? Numbering here. So we'll do the numbering part. Check. I can consider this is what? Atmospheric conditions A. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4 and this is 5. Okay. So here we have to take that diffuser. Inlet will be A21. Inlet will be A21. That will be the diffuser part. Okay. And similarly we can write this diffuser numbering, I mean you can alter also. So once I will explain A21 diffuser, then you need to just remember the formula, okay, and if numbering will change also in suppose problems, then you can manage that numbering, because numbering, this one I am giving a standard one, but sometimes diffuser they have started point 1 and then 1 2 3 4 5 till 6, and a point they will take in free stream basically, okay, a point, but here a point I have taken at the inlet of diffuser. So when the problem will come, when actually the shock will form, then that time only A and 1 will differ, okay, otherwise the total quantity will be same, total temperature and total pressure I am saying, okay. If there is no loss, then this value will be same, but suppose between free stream and nozzle diffuser inlet, if shock is what formed, then there will be the problem. So that time separate analysis I will give, okay. So that, so nothing to worry, you just take this numbering, this is the standard numbering, okay. Now from this numbering we'll go for the uh, uh, formulation. So first is what? Diffuser, okay. First is diffuser, or it is also called intake, or it is also called inlet. A21, okay, A21, this numbering is nothing but A21. So separate diagram need to draw for this diffuser. So I can say diffuser is basically a static component, there is no rotatory part, and it will always used to decelerate the flow. Kinetic energy will decrease and pressure energy will rise. That is the main work of the diffuser, okay. So this diffuser is basically convert kinetic energy into pressure energy. So depends, it is subsonic or supersonic diffuser. I am considering here it is subsonic diffuser. So for subsonic diffuser, it will, diffuser means what? If it is subsonic, then it will be a divergent. But same time, if diffuser is what? For supersonic, so it will be convergent. I explained properly when I taught you that area velocity rule, okay. But here I am considering diffuser subsonic, so it will be a divergent section, okay. So if it is divergent section, so it will be like this, okay. All right. Now, so for this diffuser, we have to go for the analysis. All right. Now, just say this point is nothing but A and this point is nothing but 1. So we had to write the formula for, and I'm considering this is the subsonic diffuser, okay. It should be very clear. subsonic diffuser. Now, so we have to draw the TS plot for this diffuser. Okay, that point I am considering A21. All right, and the function, you know very well what is the function of diffuser to decelerate the flow. I mean that kinetic energy will be converted into pressure energy. Okay, so this diffuser basically efficiency, two types of efficiency for the diffuser will have: isentropic efficiency and ram efficiency. I will tell you when ram efficiency you have to talk, when isentropic efficiency you have to talk. First of all, I will draw the TS plot for this diffuser. Focus here, it's very important actually. Okay, all right. So I'm considering this is the temperature axis and this is the entropy. Okay, temperature and entropy. So in TS plot, that pressure line will be like this one. So this one I am considering what is the pressure at point A. It will be PA. At point 1, what is the temperature? It is P1. This is the basically static temperature, and what is the total temperature or stagnation? You can say P naught A, and this is the P naught 1. So PA and P1 are static pressure. Okay, and similarly you can say temperature also TA, and this is T1. So TA and T1, it is the static temperature. Okay, similarly P naught A and P naught 1, P naught 1, it's a total pressure, total or stagnation pressure. And similarly you can write T naught and T naught 1. So it's a stagnation temperature, it's a stagnation quantity. Okay, there should not be any confusion. So I'm writing here it is static pressure PA. Okay, and similarly somewhere there will be the P naught A line, which is the total pressure. Okay, and I'm considering here somewhere there will be the P1 line also, because diffuser will increase the pressure rise. Okay, it will convert kinetic energy into pressure energy, so pressure will rise here. So obviously P1 will be higher than PA. So I am drawing here, this is the P1. Okay, and P naught 1 somewhere, this is the P naught A. So somewhere here this is the P naught 1. Okay, P naught 1. So PA, P1, P naught 1 and P naught A. All right. Now, how to get the total pressure, that you know velocity component will come into picture. Okay. So P naught A and PA I am just going to draw here. So in PA, if you PA is the static pressure, if dynamic pressure equivalent velocity you will add in PA, then you will get P naught A. So I am going to add this. So I must say this is the pressure line PA. Okay, this is the pressure line PA here, and from PA, if you add velocity component, which is nothing but VA square by 2CP. If you add VA square by 2CP, then you will get P naught A, and obviously you will get T naught A. Now PA, if it is PA, then definitely this temperature will be TA, and in TA you can say, because in for the dynamic pressure it is half rho v square, I am writing Va square by 2Cp, so you will get total temperature. So this is the TA temperature. So if you have added Va square by 2Cp, then this temperature will be T naught A. Okay. Similarly, if you have the, this is the T naught A now. Okay. Because this is the static device, you are not adding any heat, not subtracting any heat, you are not doing any work here. Okay. So total temperature must be constant. So this P naught A 1 is here, P naught A is here. So whatever the temperature you will get because of the this PA and P1, PA and P1 are static. So total temperature you will get, just like here you have added Va square by 2Cp. So if this one is the T1, okay, this is the point 1, suppose here, this is the point 1. So now just say this is the point A here, okay. This is the point A and this is the point 1. For this one, pressure line is P1 and temperature will be T1. This temperature will be T1, okay. And this is the point 1. So you are going A to 1 here. So this is the point 1 and this is the point A. Okay. Now 1 is here and respective temperature will be T1 here. So this value is nothing but V1 square by 2Cp. Then this value will, with respect to this P naught 1, what will be the temperature? It is T naught 1, and this I can write here. So basically T naught A and T naught 1 must be same. Okay, that's the mean of it. Alright, it is the same because here I have set this point 1 and this is the P naught 1. So if you check this line, here the same one. So here what is the velocity? You can say V1 square by 2Cp. Here already I have written V1 square by 2Cp. Okay. So better I will draw it again. So here it will be more clear to you in big diagram. So it will take time, no matter, but it should be very clear. So if it is proper space I will have, then I will able to explain you properly. This is what T, temperature, and this is what entropy. Okay. Now I can say, okay, two lines I have to draw. First one is the PA and second one is, I must say, P1. Okay, I must say this is the P1, or better I will take downside, so more space required. Okay, so I must say this is the P1. Okay, all right. Now I can say this is point A and this is point 1. A and 1. Okay, because in diffuser you have seen A and 1. A is the inlet of diffuser and 1 is the exit of diffuser. All right. Now with respect to this point A, what is the temperature? TA. With respect to point 1, what is the temperature? T1. All right. So these are the static. Now you have drawn here static pressure and static pressure and static temperature. Now need to draw the stagnation pressure and stagnation temperature. So if this is point A, okay, so you need to take the velocity component, and this velocity component will be velocity component I must draw here. This is the point 1. I can say this is the P naught A. So this is the P naught A. It's okay, but what is the temperature here? It is T naught A. Okay. You know very well that formula, total temperature and static temperature relation. What is the total temperature and static temperature? That velocity component will come, which is nothing but VA square by 2Cp. So actually this part, how you will get T naught A from TA? If you add VA square by 2Cp, okay, in TA, T naught A, you know that stagnation temperature is nothing but static temperature plus VA square by 2Cp. If you do this, then you know this formula, very basic only. In compressible aerodynamics, I had derived that. No? So TA is here, T naught A if you want, then you add VA square by 2Cp. Similarly, we need to draw the for PA we have drawn P naught A. Similarly, we have to draw P naught 1 for P1. Okay. So how to draw it? I'll show. So somewhere here, this will be the P naught 1. Okay. So now I can say from P1 to P naught 1 how to achieve. From P1 to P naught 1 how to achieve that. So I can say this is the P1 value, okay. This is the P1 point somewhere, and P naught 1, if you want to write P naught 1, so how to get that? So you need to add velocity component. What is the formula for T naught 1 is equal to P1 plus V1 square by 2Cp, because this is the P naught 1, okay. So somewhere there will be T naught 1. I can say this is the value, and this is the P naught 1. So respective value will be T naught 1. So this T naught 1 I can represent here. Okay, I can represent here T naught 1. Now to reach from P1 to P naught 1, or you can say to reach from T1 to T naught 1, this value, okay, you can say this one or this one, meaning will be same. This value will be V1 square by 2Cp. If I am writing V1, then it means it is related to P1 and P naught 1, T1 and T naught 1. If I am writing VA square by 2Cp, it will be related to PA and P naught A and TA and T naught A. So this is the perfect diagram. Okay. Now here, if you check in this case, this is nothing but here entropy S will be constant. If I am drawing the straight line, then it means entropy is what? Constant. Okay. And if entropy is what? Increasing, then how the plot will be? The plot will be like this. The A and 1 will be connected by this line. So this line is what showing A to 1. It is showing actual. This is the actual rise. Okay. And this is 1 and this is the 1 dash. If I say this is the 1 dash, so A to 1. This is the ideal rise. What rise? Pressure rise, I am saying. Okay. Why ideal? Because A to 1 dash, if you check, then A to 1 dash is straight, which it means entropy become constant. Entropy constant means become ideal. A to 1, if you check, then see entropy is what? Increasing, so it become actual. So this is the perfect TS plot. Why here T naught 1 and T naught is same? Because this diffuser or inlet is a static device. There is no rotatory component. First. Second thing, Here we are not adding any heat in diffuser, or we are not taking out any heat from the diffuser. Okay, we are not injecting fuel in diffuser, right? So obviously we are not adding any heat, or we are not rejecting any heat. Second condition. Third condition, we are saying it is ideal, diffuser is ideal, so because of friction also there is no temperature rise. So for that reason, if I am considering it is ideal or it is isentropic, then our total temperature T naught 1 and T naught must be same. T naught 1 and T naught A same. Okay, that's the mean of it. Because we are not adding any heat, we are not rejecting any heat, there is no temperature rise. Total temperature I am saying, static temperature definitely it will rise. Why static temperature is rising or static pressure is rising? It is because of the shape of the diffuser. What is the shape of diffuser? Divergent shape. If divergent shape is there, then velocity will be decreasing in diffuser. Check the diagram. This is the diffuser here. In this case, whatever the velocity, if you see at point 1 velocity will be less compared to velocity at point A, it means kinetic energy is what? Dropping here or decreasing here. If kinetic energy is decreasing because of the shape, divergent shape, so definitely that kinetic energy will be converting in some another form. So kinetic energy is decreasing, so pressure energy will be increasing, and pressure energy will be increasing in the sense velocity decreasing, so pressure increasing by Bernoulli law. It's very common only. Once pressure is what increasing, then definitely temperature will also increase. So whatever the static pressure and temperature is what rising, it is because of the shape of the diffuser. Hope it is very clear. Now we'll write the efficiency. Two type of efficiency of diffuser we have. Okay, efficiency of diffuser. If you talk efficiency, so both are they are asking in exam. Okay, so two type of efficiency we have. What is the first? First one is isentropic efficiency. Isentropic efficiency, and second one is called as RAM efficiency. RAM efficiency. Okay. Isentropic efficiency will be denoted by eta I, isentropic, I for isentropic, and RAM efficiency will be denoted by eta R for RAM efficiency. Okay, one very important point. Another very important point you need to remember, if you are talking about isentropic efficiency, so isentropic efficiency will be defined in terms of temperature rise. It will be defined in terms of temperature rise. Okay, and RAM efficiency, it will be defined in terms of pressure rise. This is very important here. Okay, pressure rise. So if you write, if isentropic efficiency, so it will be denoted by eta I. RAM efficiency will be denoted by eta R. Isentropic efficiency, it will be related to temperature rise. RAM efficiency will be related to the pressure rise. All right, now both are important, both they are asking in examination. Okay, so now what is the isentropic efficiency? Let me write this. Number one, eta I. Eta I, isentropic efficiency, is nothing but isentropic rise. Obviously isentropic efficiency related to temperature, hence you will write isentropic rise in temperature divided by actual rise in So eta I. Okay. Check the diagram. Check the diagram here. Isentropic rise. So if you say isentropic rise in temperature, so where is the isentropic rise? Check. Now see, one more part here need to add because I missed that part. See, this is the P1. So related to P1 point, this is 1 and this is the 1 dash. Okay. Now if I say isentropic total temperature, so where is the total temperature? So we'll go for the total pressure line. This P01 is the total pressure line. So this total pressure line, if you draw here, then it will give this point. So this will be the total temperature T01, but it will be dash. Why it is dash? Because it's a straight line. Once a straight line will come, it means there is no entropy change. If entropy is not changing, it means it becomes isentropic. Isentropic process. Entropy is not changing, it means becomes isentropic process. So if you check this straight line where it is cutting to P01 line, so it will be with respect to temperature, it will be T01 dash. Yes. So T01 dash is what? This one. This is the T1. This is T01 dash. Always remember. Okay. Now, so coming to this isentropic rise in temperature. So what is the isentropic rise in temperature? Check. Here temperature is TA and here temperature. Okay, I will connect this line. So in very proper way I am just going to connect. See, this is the T01 dash and TA. This is what? Isentropic rise in temperature. What is the actual rise in temperature? Actual rise is this one, T01, the actual temperature. Okay, let me remove this part. No need to write. Whenever it is required, I will write it again. Okay. So check. So this will be actual. So this is called actual rise. Okay, actual rise in temperature, and this is the isentropic rise. Hope you understood this. All right. So I must write eta I is nothing but isentropic rise, which is nothing but T01 dash minus TA divided by actual rise is T01 minus TA. So this is the formula. Okay, of isentropic efficiency. First one. Second one, we'll go for the second. RAM efficiency. RAM efficiency is related to the pressure rise. So RAM efficiency is what related to pressure rise. So what is the RAM efficiency? Check. So whatever the pressure, total pressure or pressure change between 1 to A, and second one is what is the pressure change between total pressure at point 1 will be the P01, and here the initial is PA. Just try to understand. See, again I will show this basically nozzle diffuser here. See, diffuser is here. Okay, this is A. Check how to get the RAM efficiency. This is A, this is 1. What is the total pressure here? Static pressure PA. What is the static pressure P1, what is the total pressure here? Pressure here P naught A, what is the total pressure here? P naught 1. Okay, all right. So efficiency, if you write RAM efficiency here, so P naught A and PA, so P naught A and PA, P naught A and PA, whatever the change in pressure between these two, okay, divided by what is the pressure changes between these two. So because at point 1 total pressure will be will have some value, so between this total and this inlet static, what is the pressure change? So you can say P naught 1 minus PA divided by at inlet only in static and total, what is the difference? P naught A minus PA. This is called RAM efficiency. This is called RAM efficiency. Okay, this is very important. This is called RAM efficiency. Okay, both are very important and question they are asking from both. All right. Now, so key points we have for the diffuser, as I have explained the RAM efficiency. In this RAM efficiency, P naught 1 minus PA. This pressure is called as RAM pressure, right? What it is called? RAM pressure rise. If they will say what is the RAM pressure rise, so at exit what is the total pressure minus inlet static pressure, that difference will give the RAM pressure rise. This is very important. Okay, this is important. This note is very important. Okay, all right. Now check key points for the diffuser. Now you need to concentrate here. Key points for diffuser. So one more time I will write formula very fast. I will write because everything you know. What is the key point? That total temperature. Okay. Total temperature, I told you in diffuser it is constant, but I am writing here total temperature. Total temperature in is constant, which means T naught 1 is equal to T naught A, and this value will be TA VA square by 2CP. Okay. All right. Number one. Number two, pressure ratio. Okay. Or pressure rise in diffuser. So it will be P naught 1 by PA. Okay. What is the value of it? Check this formula. If efficiency they have given, then P naught 1 by PA is equal to, okay, it will be 1 plus eta I, isentropic efficiency. If they have given, then use this efficiency, and this is nothing but gamma upon gamma 1. This is the second point. Okay. Third point. All the key points need to remember. In question once we'll solve, then you should write for formula. Okay. Temperature ratio, okay, at inlet of diffuser. So you know this formula will be T naught 1 by TA is equal to and this is also okay. All right. Fourth point. You know the formula eta I isentropic efficiency T naught 1 dash minus TA divided by T naught 1 minus TA. Okay. Check this. Now fifth point, eta R. Okay. If you check eta R, what is the eta R? Eta R is nothing but P naught 1 minus PA divided by P naught A minus PA. 5 points. Okay. All right. This is the okay. Now we'll go for point number 6. In point number 6, see, as I have told you, the all 5 points you have seen for subsonic. Point number 6 for subsonic diffuser or intake. Okay. Isentropic efficiency nearby 0.93. You need to remember because one time in exam they had asked efficiency directly for nozzle, for combustion chamber, for intake. Okay, for turbine, for compressor they had asked. So they will ask, you need to answer. So for subsonic intake both eta I and eta R, which means isentropic efficiency and ram efficiency, are found to be independent of inlet Mach number. Okay, up to a value of 0.8. Okay, that's the reason it is subsonic inlet. But if the Mach number is not going to increase beyond 0.8, then obviously efficiency of diffuser will be changing. That's the reason I have used the word subsonic diffuser. So you should be very careful. If nearby 0.8 Mach number, till that isentropic efficiency and ram efficiency will be independent to the inlet Mach number. But for intake which is supersonic intake or diffuser, and the efficiency, isentropic efficiency and ram efficiency, it will be related to Mach number when it is supersonic, or you can say when the Mach number becomes suppose 1, 2, 3, anything, that time whatever the efficiency of efficiency of the intake will be the function of Mach number. It will immediately change once Mach number will change, efficiency will also change. Hope you understood this word. Okay, fine. Now if you say supersonic intake we have, okay, or inlet we have, so what will happen for the supersonic inlet? Okay, so What I had given from point 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, this was the key points for diffuser, but this diffuser is what? Subsonic. Subsonic, and it was equal to and less 0.8. This formula will work properly, okay? If Mach is what? Less than 0.8, till that it's okay. I mean, whatever the formula you have written, it is okay. But now if diffuser becomes supersonic, then what will happen? So supersonic diffuser, definitely there will be shock formation, okay? So if the shock will form, then whatever the formula 1 to 6 you have written, not a single formula will work here. Not a single formula will work here. It will not work. First we can start from the isentropic efficiency of the diffuser. That time if it is supersonic diffuser, then isentropic efficiency will not be 0.93, it will be less than 0.93. Why? I told you isentropic efficiency will be affected because of the Mach number. If Mach number becomes supersonic, then automatically efficiency, inlet efficiency or diffuser efficiency will be lesser than 0.93. That you point, this point you need to remember, okay? Now the existence of shock wave which leads to large decrease in stagnation pressure, okay, even in the absence of viscous effects, that is stagnation pressure definitely across the shock, you know, it will change, that you know, okay. So in practice neither isentropic efficiency nor ram efficiency is used for supersonic intake, and it is more usual to quote values of stagnation pressure ratio P naught 1 by P naught A as a function of Mach number, okay, and that P naught 1 by P naught A, what you have seen in diffuser, it will be called as a pressure recovery factor of the intake. So that formula I am giving to you. First of all, supersonic case or shock formation in front of diffuser kind of question they will not ask in your exam, but we have to prepare for the worst condition. So I am giving this formula for the supersonic diffuser. You need to remember it, okay? So write key points. Key points of supersonic diffuser. All right. Now, point 1. We'll start from point 1 here. First, very important points. I'm just going to show this diffuser. This is your diffuser here. Okay. This is A and this is 1. Yes or no? So, in this case, the shock will be formed in front of the diffuser. Okay. So, I can say because the flow is what? Supersonic. Okay. So, definitely shock will be formed. I can say this is the shock form. Okay. Shock formation. Okay, oblique shock will be there, normal shock will be there, so you can say this is the shock. Okay, in front of intake. So all the thermodynamic property will be changing. So I can tell you here for the supersonic diffuser, this point number 1, obviously here this is point A, so pressure will be PA, P1, P01, P0A respectively, point A and 1. So this P0 1 by P0 A, P0 1 by P0 A, it is called pressure recovery factor. Okay, what it is called? pressure recovery factor. Okay, and it is the function of, okay, P naught 1 by P naught A is the function of Mach number. Very important. It's a function of Mach number. So this formula I will give to you. Okay. P naught 1 by P naught A. It's called the pressure recovery factor of the intake. It is called pressure recovery factor, PRF. PRF. Okay. Now directly I will give this formula. Actually derivation is there, but I will not give because it becomes so lengthy. So what is the PRF? Pressure recovery factor. It is nothing but P naught 1 by P naught A. It is the function of Mach number. So 1.0 minus 0.075 MA minus 1 power 1.35. This is the formula. Okay. When there is a shock formation, if shock will form, then otherwise you know that P naught 1 and P naught A directly you can get. So RAM efficiency formula and all, it will not work here. Okay. In practice, neither isentropic efficiency eta I nor eta R, RAM efficiency formula used for supersonic intake, whatever I have told you in subsonic, it will not work for the supersonic. Okay. And here this Mach number should be greater than 1 and should be less than 5. For this range, this formula will work. Okay. For this range only this formula will work. Always remember. Anyway, once you know the P naught 1 by P naught A, your problem will be solved. How? Your problem will be solved. Why? Because you can write P naught 1 by PA. You can write P naught 1 by P naught A, P naught A by PA. So this P naught 1 by P naught A is nothing but this. Okay, rest P naught A by PA, it is after the shock, before the shock. Sorry, P naught A by PA is before the shock, so isentropic relation will work. So I can write P naught 1, P naught A by PA. As usual, this formula will work. What is this formula? It is isentropic only, because before the shock, isentropic relation you can use. So it will work. Yes or no? It will work. So here I will show this. So this MA is greater than 1. Okay. So once you have this case when there is a supersonic condition, okay, I will write here MA greater than 1 and less than 5. For this it will work. So this is the first point. Okay, this is the formula I have given to you. Once you got P naught 1 by PA, you can proceed numerical as usual. Okay, as usual you can proceed. Nah? So now, I mean, you will get the after shock value you will get, then you can proceed by your own. Second point here need to mention, it is nothing but that the point 2 isentropic efficiency is less than 0.93 in case of supersonic diffuser. In case supersonic diffuser. Okay. The intake efficiency will depend upon the location of engine in the aircraft wing, or it is pod or fuselage. the value of eta I decreases with increase in inlet Mach number. So once inlet Mach number increases, 0.3, inlet Mach number increases, okay, increases, eta I decreases. This is also very important point. Okay, till 0.8 eta I is constant, huh? Till 0.8 Mach number it is constant, but once inlet Mach number is what, increasing beyond 0.8, then isentropic efficiency will be decreasing. All right.